All right, so this past weekend, you and I together actually went to CCS, which is Charlie's Collectible Show over in Atlanta, Georgia. This was my first CCS. I think you've been to CCS before a couple times now. So we're just going to talk about what we thought of the event. Anybody who, it's obviously a third party event. It's not through Ravensburger. So for anybody who's, maybe a little hesitant to attend something like that, we just want to talk about, what we thought of the event, if it was worth it compared to a DLC, and really just like our thoughts on the weekend overall. What did you think? Did you have a good time at CCS?
It was a terrible time. There were so many there's so many terrible people there that I can't stand hanging out with.
It's so
I'm
ridiculous.
I'm hoping people just turned off the video right there and start you entitled piece of trash. No, it was fantastic per usual. It's funny. I mean a lot of people refer to them as like DLC lights.
Mm,
There are a lot of people that are like quote unquote pros that play there, like tons. This one actually less than normal, which was good for it being your first time there, because I know that a lot of people were preparing for like worlds and stuff like that, and have been keeping things very hush hush. Like last time, a ton of the world's class cards players were there. This time, of course, Kendall was there because he's local to the area, and he's like kind of the face of CCS, I would say at this point.
sure.
Yeah. But then there was other people. It's funny because it always hovers around the same general amount of people there, but there's always new people there.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And then to humble brag, not so humbly, there were so many fans of ours there.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it was a really cool weekend. I think for someone who's never gone, just to kind of share what it was like for me, I thought it was totally worth my time, worth every dollar spent, and it was really, really fun. I think Dick is making a great point. Like there were a lot of I kind of realized the Lorcana community is actually quite small when you think about it, because I was recognizing people left and right, even if I like didn't really watch their content or had seen them play before. A lot of people I just knew of them, and similarly, unfortunately, a lot of people knew of us too. So that was like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. He gets it all the time at DLCs, but that's never happened to me before. So that was like a big plus. Was just like the community aspect. You mentioned Kendall, who I think I don't know how he did in the main event, but I know he split top four with one of our buddies, James, on the day two event for Sunday. I think at one point, like I was sitting next to Zan Syed in the main event, which like sucks for Zan, was pretty cool for me. I was like, hey, anybody could have a bad day. um, but like, so it really was just like, a way to kind of test your skills against the best, but also really get to see some of the community. And also, I have to say, the venue is so cool. I don't know what I was expecting. I knew it was called like Collectible Show, so I was like, that's weird. I don't know why they would, title their store that. If it's just like I'm expecting like a little card shop that's big, obviously fit a lot of people, but I was just thinking it was just a card shop, and it's not. I think you described it kind of as like a flea market. For me, it's literally like a convention that you can go to all year round. Like there are different vendors that are there, and they have all different kinds of things. Sure, you'll have like a bunch of people that sell Pokemon and Lorcana and whatever, but you also have a bunch of people that sell like action figures and T-shirts and prints and things like that. So it really felt like going to like a MomoCon or a MegaCon here in Florida or a Comic Con elsewhere on the coasts. And I think that was something that I really wasn't expecting, because it normally I pay, anywhere from like 75 or more dollars to attend something, like a MomoCon, right? Just to shop. Here, you could just walk in and shop for free and still get that experience and like have things to do in between rounds. So that was also like a really big surprise for me, that I don't know why I thought it would be just a normal card store, but it definitely wasn't. And it was a really, really, really cool venue that I like have to point out for anybody who hasn't been there.
Yeah, I love seeing all the vendors. Unfortunately, Bricked Out, who are Lego vendors, I buy their clearance stuff every single time I go there, and I sell it in my own thrift store.
Oh yeah.
But that was their last weekend, so that was a mainstay for me. They know me because I'm the clearance guy. There is a couple of card sellers that have Disney Lorcana. I don't know. I just know the place is CCS, so I don't know all the individual store names in there.
Right.
But most people can recognize that one of them is like way and above better than the rest when it comes to having things in stock and buying things. And like that guy knows me because I bring in like the most random things that like I'm like the only person in America that has and stuff like that. Like I brought him like Japanese stuff and he was just like, okay, like I don't expect this to just randomly walk through the door, you know? But yeah, a lot of the vendors are great. I talked about this in my Tokyo treat boxes. There's a store that sells candy, like imported stuff from Japan.
Hmm.
And it's so funny now that I've been to Japan, seeing the price difference. Like I bought a coffee from them and it was 3.50, and in Japan it was like 70 cents at a
Oh,
vending
wow.
machine. But you know, I mean, that also came with $1,000 plane ticket, so 3.50 is a pretty good deal. I got to meet Matt Hardy this time.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you were saying, just the most random stuff at this convention center.
Matt Hardy
It's
was there.
fantastic.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I actually have a great story. So like I paid for the fast pass, which good thing I paid for the fast pass because the normal line was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
You had to have dropped from the event at noon when the event started. So if you did not pay for a fast pass. So I paid for a fast pass ahead of time. They were letting couples go on the same fast pass. So me and my boyfriend Ferranti, you know, we both got to meet him at the
Did
same
you
time.
guys go together? That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, man, it's Pride Month.
There you go. Happy Pride, everybody. So yeah, that's true. Matt Hardy was there. I totally forgot to mention.
Yeah.
And yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff like always happening. So if you're ever passing through Atlanta, or definitely if you're local, I would definitely recommend it. And this is like, we always say this whenever we're like shouting people out as if like being nice is a transactional thing, but we're not being paid to say this. We don't.
But I requested money and Charlie laughed. So
Yeah.
what's called so I've known Charlie for a very long time. I didn't think he remembered me because
Yeah.
I quit vending 9 years ago, but we probably vended, I don't know, 150 Grand Prix and stuff together over the years.
Yeah.
And so I recognized him and I'm thinking like, man, he has so many people come through his shop. I've been out of Magic for, you know, almost a decade. So I never brought it up to him, but he actually brought it up to me this time.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, and I was like, you know, kind of a big deal now. I usually get paid to attend these things. So, you know, anytime you want to throw some of that CCS money towards me. We were having a great time reminiscing, making fun of my old boss, stuff like that. So
Yeah, no, I also was fortunate enough, actually, funnily enough, completely separately from you. I feel like a lot of people expected us to just kind of stick with each other the whole weekend. But there was like one day I came up around the corner at like 6 p.m. You looked at me and you went, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen you all day." So we definitely got up to our own little adventures, which was kind of cool at the end of every day to come back to the Airbnb and share, you know, our different stories. But so while you were reminiscing with Charlie a little separately, I got to meet him as well, and I was calling him the Charlie, so that way people could like get it through their heads, like the guy of Charlie's Collectible Show. I was able to speak with him alongside Forbidden Mountain's Melissa, or Lizard Kitty, as some of you may know her, and we actually spoke to him a little bit about the women's event. They ran a ladies only Lorcana event as well, which Melissa and I both played in. I was fortunate enough to finish in the top 8, which was really cool. But we had spoke to him, what's this channel without a little controversy, about some of, you know, the flack that CCS was getting for the ladies event. And he was super sweet. He was very open to feedback, which was crazy. You know, he's been there all day. He's running this huge event. And you know, but he really sat down, listened to us, and we thanked him for everything. And we got to just kind of share some feedback with him. And you could tell that he was like really receptive, and he even offered to come onto the channel. So there might be a future video where we sit down and talk with him if we can make the schedules line up and talk more about what it means to host the ladies event, and some community sentiments. But just to kind of recap that, I really appreciated, like, he's obviously so busy, right? Like he's running this huge event. You know, he owns this place year round. He's got things like Matt Hardy, you know, celebrities to look after, and he took time to
like
talk to us. So he was a really great guy.
yeah, Disney Lorcana is probably like really low on
on the
his
priority list.
on his priority list, to be honest.
So yeah, so the fact that he, took the time to talk with us, and he was very open with us about the event and the intention behind it, and yeah, so I just really wanted to give a shout out to him, and also just the whole event, really, because it felt so worth it. I don't know, I'm sure you felt the same way, but like, I mean, I think I spent money on like a plane ticket, and I spent money on lodging, and I spent money on the actual event. And then there's also like paying for food and stuff, throughout the couple of days. So it was a pretty penny, right? It was definitely less than $1,000, but it was probably around or a little over 500, right? Depending on how you get up to it. So it's like, it was an investment for sure. Similar to that of a DLC level, I probably spent similar going to DLC Atlanta, but I truly felt like it was worth, all the money I spent and more. And I think it really is exactly like you said earlier, just for that community aspect. You mentioned some people shouted us out. Obviously, everywhere Dick goes, Dick gets attention. He's used to this. He keeps the signed copy of cards in his bag. But I mean, that was my first time having people come up to me, and so I also just want to say thank you to anybody who watches the channel, and who said hello to me. You made my night. I told my parents when I got home that some people recognized me, and they thought it was the coolest thing ever. So truly, we have a blast doing this channel, and I think just having people be like, oh hey, I saw your like tier list video, or shout out to like Corwin, Liam, Aaron, and others that came up to me. I tried to memorize everybody's name because I really was so grateful.
I told you not to. I was like, because as soon as you leave someone off, it's bad. Like all the Chernobyls people were absolutely fantastic.
Oh my god, they were amazing. Yeah.
I feel bad. Like, well, I just met some content creators this time that I'd never met before, like Sasuke and some of the other 20 lore people, because they are insanely busy the whole weekend, and like I don't want to bother them, for one. For two, I don't know if they know who I am. I don't want to get in an awkward situation where I'm just like, hey, you know me, right? And they're like,
no, who are you?
like I'm friends with Jeebus. I did not talk to him until Sunday when the venue was closed, like because he was commentating the whole weekend.
Yeah.
I was shocked of how peppy he was after having to commentate all weekend. But it was so funny because like I don't know a lot of people's names, especially because people use like fake names and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I met Dancer for the first time from Luxury, right? I'm like talking to him, Ferrante, level 9001 all weekend. And at the end of the weekend I say to Ferrante, like, I thought Kevin was coming. And they're like, yeah, that's Danzer. I'm like, I don't know anyone's real name and fake name. I'm basically Spider-Man when he met Doctor Strange. Right? Like, oh, we're using our made up names. Like I'm lost in the sauce when it comes to that. And people think I'm using a made up name. So like I'm expecting other people to also tell me their real name when I encounter them.
Right.
Or like people have like cartoon versions of themselves
Right.
as their avatar on Twitter and Discord. And it's like, I may know you. I'm gonna act like I don't, so I don't embarrass myself. So anyone out there, if like we make eye contact, I don't say hi. I'm not high horsing you. I'm stupid.
Yeah, definitely. No, I ran into that a bunch this weekend with like people telling me like, yeah, I replied to you on Twitter. Like, this is what my icon looks like, and it's like a certain anime character that I had to be like, oh yeah, because otherwise like we wouldn't know. Yeah, no. So yes, he. I don't mean to leave anybody out. If I did, I'm so sorry. I promise. I have a picture of your face and just can't really think of the name associated with it, but that was like really cool as well. I played a different deck each day. So on the main event I played Amber Steel, and then in the ladies event on Sunday I played Sapphire and Amethyst. Samethyst if you ask Dan, Blurple if you ask the rest of the community. And I had a great time. Did you pilot the same thing both days?
I did. For one, I don't care about third-party events. Like I was coming to this event because other people were also going to this event and I wanted to hang out.
Right.
Yeah. Like if I'm going to win a tournament, I want it to be an official tournament. Like when I played Magic, I played in 0 Star State Games events. which might shock people who only know me from Disney Lorcana.
I was gonna
where
say
I
you do
played,
so many Lorcana Star City
yeah,
game events.
but yeah, as soon as like official tournaments started, I stopped going to Star City events. I just don't care. Like I don't want that to be the tournament I spike,
Mm.
if that makes sense. And nothing against people who do like that. I just want to be recognized by Ravensburger. Like that's the only reason I'm here. I don't want to be a player forever. I don't want to be a player right now, but I don't have a choice. I want to be on Ravensburger's radar. So I don't know if they're watching, all these third party tournaments or whatnot. So I never really put a lot into it. You know how I prepared my deck? I spent 30 seconds on Dreamboard and was like, yeah, this looks like a good Amber Steel list. And it was. And then I played Lorcanito, and I played one night and I was in third place on the best one ladder. And I was like, all right, this is good enough.
Probably fine.
Yeah, the Ruby Sapphire match is borderline unwinnable. I did mill 5 games. I got
Oh.
I got 5 game wins from milling my opponents. One of those opponents, I actually said to him, like I would beat him, so he would just play a bunch of items and draw cards off workshops, and I was like we were 4-2, so I thought we were dead for top 16, and even if we weren't, I didn't really care about top 16. So I say to him like, yeah, I just milled someone, yeah, and he was just like, oh. Just kept drawing cards, and I milled him. Like I was trying to let him know, like, dude, maybe relax.
Maybe stop drawing there, buddy. No, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
And
just
then,
gotta know.
what's it called? Like this was the first event that me and Beefcake got to hang out a lot. I met him at SSG, right? And I don't know, maybe we can put up the photo if we remember. Probably not. Someone will leave a comment, be like, I really hate when content creators say they're going to do something and they don't. Then you can add it in post. But there's the photo of him posing.
Yeah.
And I did not know him well at the time, but afterwards, I'm like, man, I should have stood next to you. We could have been like Farley and Swayze in Saturday Night Live. That's probably over your head. You're a child,
Yeah.
but the people our age will understand. But yeah, we actually, so we were talking a lot, and man, that dude's awesome,
Yeah.
right? And we got paired against each other and got a deck check. So we had to sit there for like 10 minutes and just like vibe over like our favorite protein bars and stuff like that, and it was awesome. He offered me a barbell, which I appreciate so much. I had to turn it down because I don't eat while I'm playing because I have too much anxiety.
Yeah.
But those things are incredible and expensive. So if Barbell ever wants to sponsor a video, hit me up. But yeah, it was great. Like that was just one example of the people that we got to hang out with because we went to this third party event, and it was just a phenomenal time.
Yeah, I think definitely in an era of maybe a lack of official Ravensburger events and content. You put up the meme today. I'll show it here. The Lorcana community is really the reason that this thing is trucking along as well as it is right now. Obviously we have Worlds to look forward to, but in the meantime, right, there's been a lot of just kind of waiting around for all the new stuff. A lot of people aren't really having fun with the game just because of rotation isn't, they know that's coming, so they're like, well, I'll just play when that comes out. So I think just kind of in this time where there's not maybe too much official stuff going on, only the qualified Worlds players can go to Worlds. The rest of us have just kind of been hanging around looking for something to do, and I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about something that wasn't an official event, and I'm like so pleased to say that it was so worth it. And if you're somebody that maybe doesn't have too many Lorcana friends and is like, well, if it's only worth it because you guys knew a bunch of people, maybe I shouldn't go. I actually think, based on the environment that I encountered all weekend, you're bound to meet people. Everybody seemed super friendly. I didn't have too many crazy interactions at the tables. I mean, there's always some, right? You always get, we're playing for money. We're competing against each other. There's always going to be some high stakes situations, and those always happen. But for the most part, everybody was super friendly, and I like one of my opponents, we both had people not show up, and so once we waited the 10 minutes and got our wins, we just started playing each other, because we were just like, we're here to play, we're here to have fun. So it really is just like, it was a great atmosphere, and I really think it's something that everybody should try at least once. And I know that they're going to keep doing these events because they keep getting so many players and they keep doing so well. So maybe if you have a chance, definitely go to the next one. Is there anything else you want to say on Charlie's Collectible show?
Yeah, I mean, I really do think that there's something for everyone there.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like they had an artist there, right? If you're just like super sweaty and want to keep to yourself and like you just want to grind out really high level games, then that's a good place to go because it was an 11K.
Yeah.
Like that's like impossible to find most places in the world, right? If you are someone who's like, a filthy social player, like someone like Katie who likes getting their cards signed, there was an artist there, right? They had side events starting immediately that you could win matified mats.
Yeah,
right?
with a prize wall for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and those are also really hard to find, and really sought after. Anytime he does a giveaway on Twitter, it's like got like 1,000, retweets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then again, yeah, that is a good place to go and meet people. I mean, it's interesting how many times you just see the same person at like 3 or 4 tournaments, and then it's just like, oh, we're buddies now.
Yeah.
Like without even talking to people, it's just like, hey, I see you like at every event. What's up? How are you doing? You met my friend Warku. That was a fun experience.
He was great. He was great.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a really great weekend. The Lorcana community is fantastic.
It really is. It really is. It was such a treat. And it was like the first really like big event that I had gone to in so many months, probably since the last like DLC. And it was something I almost didn't go to, but I'm so glad that I made the trip out there. And yeah, we can't say enough how much we recommend it. So yeah, and I totally agree. I think it does have something for everybody because there's people there that are taking the competition seriously, of course, like you said, $11,000 on the line. But then there's also people that are just like there to have fun and meet the people. So definitely recommend it if it's something that you have considered. Thank you again to everybody who said hi to us, who we met, and who we played. It was really so cool. It was such a cool experience. I've never experienced anything like that. So hopefully we'll see you guys in Texas for the Pro Play Games event coming up. And more Lorcana to come. We got Worlds coming up, so there's going to be plenty to talk about on the channel. But for now, that's been it from us. Thank you guys so much for everything. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, please, 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 please.
No problem.